Good morning again, everybody. So Jenny was supposed to speak today, and then Wednesday, she was like, you know what? I don't think Jesus is giving me anything. Do you want it back? And I was like, heck yeah, I love to preach. And I had like the next two sermons anyway. So I was like, sure. So here we are. What About Me is the title of this series. So the premise of this is normally when we ask the question, what about me? It's a question that I am asking from a selfish standpoint. And more specifically, what up, bro? More specifically, it's about me. What do I get out of this? What do I get from Jesus when I receive salvation? What are the terms and the conditions? This is the only time that we want to read the terms and the conditions and anything that we sign up for. It's the one time. Every other time we're like, yeah, check the box, verify. It's a car in that picture, car in that picture, car in that picture. Boom, I'm not a robot, you know? That's what we do. But this is the only time when it comes to Jesus, we're like, hold up. What do I get out of this? And unfortunately, we keep that mindset as we continue along in Jesus. And I personally believe that is why we see a lack of Jesus in American culture and in America, because most Christians have well, what do I get out of this? And we never turn to look and give or want to give or anything like that. So what about me? Unlike the standard answers that we get, this is what you get from Jesus. We are going to look at the words of Jesus himself. So last week, we talked about picking up your cross. Picking up your cross. If any man should follow me, he must first deny himself and then take up his cross and follow me. And we broke down last week that the taking up of the cross, first denying myself, all of, what was the word? It was like denying your self-interests. And it was enjoyments or something like that. Interest and enjoyments or something like that. Denying those things. I need to deny my actual self. The things that I like, the things that I enjoy, I need to deny those things for the sake of Jesus. And further, taking up my cross, I am inviting pain, suffering, all the things that come with a cross. Not like, oh, I love Jesus, so I'm just like gonna be better about my attitude. I'm gonna just tell other people about other people, but I won't tell the person that I have an attitude with them. I'm gonna just treat them bad. Like, well, that's not taking up your cross. It doesn't work like that. So this week we are jumping into the Beatitudes. Can you next slide me, please? Back one, please. Okay, so the Beatitudes. I'm gonna follow along. So in the Beatitudes, Jesus is starting probably the longest sermon of all time, the Sermon on the Mount. And people like to joke and say, if Jesus had taught the Sermon on the Mount today, people would not go to his church. They'd be like, this guy, he preached for like 4 hours and we just sat there listening. It was great, but like 4 hours, Jesus, really? It's a lot. Like, even if you took the time to just read it, it's a good like 15 minutes of just reading, you know? So if you were to actually, he's expounding on things, then it probably took a good chunk of time for Jesus to get through the Sermon on the Mount. Okay, let's just jump into it. Matthew 5, verses 2 through 12. Read, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. So here we have Jesus, again, starting the Sermon on the Mount, and he lists these Beatitudes. And I looked that up. It's not as cool of a definition as I thought it was going to be, like be this attitude. It's not. It's like literally the Beatitudes was a word created to package this up. So it's like a state of bliss, or like utmost state of bliss or something like that. I was like, oh, nice, be this attitude. No, it's not. It's just a normal like state of bliss if these things are happening. Next slide. So this list of things that Jesus puts in front of us, go back one. This list that Jesus puts in front of us, blessed are those who, or blessed are you, blessed are the people who do these things or go through these things or are these things. This is not a list of things that naturally we take on. I want to say that again. These are not things that you naturally have in you because of the flesh, because of sin, because of you living on earth. You don't want to do these things. You don't want to be meek. You don't want to be humble. You don't want to be pure in heart. These things don't naturally come to me. I don't naturally hunger and thirst for righteousness. It's something that I work towards. It is something that this list is a place to get to. That makes sense? Right? You're like, why would I mourn? We'll get there. No. So I'm caught up here, but it's still not working. Okay, next slide. So normally when we talk about being blessed, I'm blessed. How are you? I know people who all the time say, I am blessed and highly favored. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed. A lot of times when we talk about blessings, it's material things. It's things that I can see, things that I can hold together. How's things? Life is good. I'm blessed, man. The cars are running well. The house is good. Bills are paid. My life is great. My son is cleaning up now. He don't throw all the Legos everywhere, just 7 of them. It's great. He's growing up. I'm blessed. I got my Apple TV, found the remote. I'm super blessed. You know what I'm saying? My internet is fast. I am blessed. That's where we stay with our things. It's the things that bring me comfort. But the level of blessed that Jesus is talking about, next slide, is the long game blessed. Not a short, comfortable game. It's a long game. The level of blessed Jesus is talking about, those who receive God's favor regardless of what their circumstances may be, to be fully satisfied, or the satisfying joy that comes from being indwelt by Christ. So this is a level of blessed that goes way above and beyond where we naturally live. And honestly, when you look at that, it's like, I don't know if I want that type of blessing, because that blessing doesn't tell me what comes with that blessing. You know what I'm saying? I still have a hard time wrapping my mind around how good that actually is. Well, what about great food, Jesus? Like, oh, wait, regardless of circumstances, that means some things are not going to go how I want them to go. I'm good on that. I'll take the comfortability blessings. And Jesus is like, but bruh, can you please lift your eyes from here to here? I need you to see bigger. I need you to see where I am living. I need you to join me up here. Remember when we walked through the Easter series and we talked about the only thing in that whole process that Jesus freaked out about was losing his relationship with his dad. And not that he lost it, but that the sin that he took on interrupted his relationship with his dad. So he's been spit on, he's been beat up, he's been laughed at, he's been punched in the face, he's been whipped, he's got crown of thorns on his head, he's bleeding, he's literally nailed to a cross, already got nails through his flesh. And the only thing that freaked him out was, Dad, where did you go? So everything that Jesus is telling us is not telling us how to be comfortable right here in the chairs. He's trying to get us to a level where the chairs don't matter. He wants to get us to a place where, like Jenny said, the people that have hurt us, it doesn't hurt like that anymore. Right. It doesn't hurt me like that anymore, because regardless of my circumstances, because of Jesus, because of the joy that I have in him, I'm good. Oh, cut the toxic people out of your life. Well, one, that's from a very angry point of view. But because of Jesus, guess what? I can cut the toxic people out of my life. Just yesterday, Facebook post, hey, F you, F you, F you. And I said, hey, you talking about me and my wife? Well, do you feel like this? Do you feel like this? And I said, yeah, we do. So what's up? Just let me know what's happening here, because I'll support you all day. Let me know. And she said, oh, no, we good. Okay, cool. Because I have no issue, because I got Jesus. I have no issue chopping that off. None. Me and Jesus are good, and I did all I could to help you. So if you don't need it, let me know you don't need the help, and I will go on about my merry way. But this is the blessed that Jesus is talking about, regardless of what I see, regardless of what the people are doing, regardless of the things outside of me, I am good. So as we walk through these Beatitudes, remember that this is the level of blessed Jesus is talking about. Regardless of my circumstances, because the front parts of these are some really heavy things, but they put you in that category of I'm good regardless because I got Jesus. So let's jump into it. Next slide. He says, blessed are those who are poor in spirit. Poor in spirit is a spiritual helplessness. I know before I started studying this, off top, you're like, oh, poor in spirit, sad people. Yep. Good on them, Jesus. They do need the kingdom. They do, yeah. No, poor in spirit. This is the person who says, I can't do this without Jesus. And I know for a fact that I can't do this without Jesus. So what does this person receive? Next slide. Thank you, TJ. I'm so proud of you. This TJ first week. He hooking it up back there. I see you, bruh. I see you. So what does this person get? The person who says, I can't do this without you, Lord. What does this person get? The kingdom of heaven, the privileges and the rewards of the divine kingdom. What does that even look like? Because that's too many British words for me. What is even happening? I get to be like the president? Sure. You know what I'm saying? But imagine all of the privileges and the rewards of the divine kingdom. If Jesus got it and Jesus can move like that, guess what? I got it and I can move like that. As long as I know I can't do this without him. Amen. So when my mind, come on, man, when I'm here, Jesus, I always need you. And because I know that you got me, guess what? I'm blessed. I already know what's coming to me. Again, it's not in the chairs. It's bigger. It's bigger. I got peace, man. I got joy. I got love. Yeah, I'll be poor in spirit all the time. because I know what's coming to me. And don't tell me you want to be poor in spirit and get some donuts. As good as donuts are, it's not a good payoff. I'm spiritually helpless, so I'm just eat donuts. Eat 2 and then pray about it, okay? Like, don't cut them out, but like get 2 donuts and then like start praying and reading your Bible, okay? Like let's get this going. The poor in spirit. Next slide. Blessed are those who mourn. And again, we look at these and we're like, oh yeah. How many of us have heard this read at a funeral? I have, blessed are those who mourn. For they will be comforted. And we're like, yes, yes, yes. Blessed are those who mourn. I get it. But no, again, where does Jesus live, man? He's not here. And he's not disregarding the emotions that he gave us. He's not disregarding that. But with Jesus, it's always bigger. It's always bigger than the physical exchange. It's always bigger. So those who are mourning and sorrowful of their sins and the sins of others. Heal my heart and make it clean. Break my heart for what breaks yours. It's literally only one thing that breaks the heart of God, and that is sin. Seeing his children live in sin. That's what breaks his heart. That's what I can't love you all. You can't get all the love that I have for you when you live in sin. You can't get it all. And I want to give you all of it. I want to give you everything. But the person who says, Jesus, 1, I can't do this without you. And 2, I have this thing inside of me that I cannot get out. I always have the thoughts. I always slip and say the word. I always make a look. God, I can't do it, and I'm trying. Next slide. The comfort comes in. Jesus took care of it. Rest in me. I am sobbing because of my own filth. Jesus, get me out of it. And he goes, remember, I took care of it. Come give me a hug. Let's get cleaned up. This is what about me? This is where I should be trying to get to. Next slide. Blessed are the meek. This is a good one because they inherit the earth. You can hit that next slide. Might as well. So this meek is not the nice person who's the doormat. Oh, she's just so sweet. She's so nice. No, not that meek person. We're talking the gentle person. When they come in the room, you're like, something changed. We're talking about that person who can legitimately, they are humble. I don't need anything. No, let me serve. Let me do. And you have to tell that person, sit down and let me make you a plate, okay? No, it's okay. I got it. I'm gonna fight you. If you don't let me serve you, we're gonna fight. They're going to be like, why did your pastor punch you in the face? Because I was trying to serve again, and he wanted to serve me instead, so he hit me. I don't know if that's a good witnessing tool or not. I'll be like, dang, I'm going to go to that church. Your pastor punching people because he wants to serve? That's tight, I guess you never hear that, But this person, they inherit the earth. And at first glance, you're like, I'm good, bruh. I don't need the world because it's not a fun place right now for the most part. I'm good. Not that earth. It's the dominion that Jesus has over the earth. As I become a joint heir with Jesus and everything that comes to him, that is also what I inherit with Jesus. That makes sense? So here we are. The person who says, I don't need anything, receives everything. The person who's like, I'll give and I'll give and I'll give. That's how Jesus got to where he was and where he is. Because he gave and he gave and he gave and he gave. And the only selfish moment he had was, my dad's not here anymore. Where did you go? His selfish moment was still looking for connection to his dad. So because of that, Jesus gets the earth. Jesus gets dominion. Jesus gets power. Jesus gets it all. And the person who says, okay, I can be humble. I don't need it. I can serve. I can do. I can give. 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 When it hurts to give, I can give. Because it starts with, blessed are those. Blessed are the meek. So regardless of my circumstances, I'm still good with Jesus because I can give. And so when it's hard to give, I'm still good with Jesus. That's crazy. And that's super tight. And that person gets everything because they didn't want anything. That's tight. Next slide. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. This righteousness, one, the hunger and the thirst, literally it said crave. So we're like, oh, hunger and thirst for righteousness. Yeah, I love Jesus and I want him in my life. Like, crave. We all understand what Thanksgiving Day is like. And you have been anticipating this meal since like the beginning of November. And it's the morning of, and wherever the house that you're going to eat Thanksgiving dinner at, you walk in and you're like, heck yeah, today is the day. You are craving this meal. Why is it that meal? I don't know. Like, it's a normal time to eat, like, you know, but it's this meal. I cannot wait. I have not eaten all year for this moment. It's like, you should just eat an apple and call it good. Like, drink some water because your stomach is this big. Like, don't eat a lot. But crave. Those who crave the righteousness of God. And you read it, the righteousness, that internal godliness. That's what I crave. Internal godliness, where the heart is right with God. Righteousness that God approves, requires, and bestows. When was the last time that I said, what about me? And this was my answer. Well, I should probably crave after righteousness. When was the last time in regards to Jesus, I was like, well, Lord, I don't know how this is going to work out. And my response was, I know. Let me get some righteousness, Lord, that only you can give, the kind that you approve. Make me right where my heart is so good. That's what I'm ready for. More often than not, that's not where we go. And again, this isn't a let me beat you up type of sermon. No, no, no. This is where we should aim to be. I read this on Thursday, and as I was looking at the definition of righteousness, I'm sitting in the sim, and I kid you not, I start crying in the sim, thinking about just this idea of righteousness. Justified. I'm clear. I'm good. All the debt that I had, Jesus took care of it. It's done, and I'm good. And I'm sitting there in the sim going, man, next slide. It says those who crave this righteousness will be satisfied. And it's not a satisfaction where I ate and I'm full, I need to unbutton my pants and sit down. No, it's the satisfied where as you're eating, you want to eat more. You know the moment where you have your plate because the anticipation builds. And so you have your plate and you're like, I'm about to tear this up. Ooh. Fork, plate. I can't wait till the next bite. And I'm chewing my food. This is so good. I can't wait to eat the rest of you. Close your mouth and chew first. We know what that's like, and that's the satisfaction of righteousness that Jesus is handing out. So when I'm freaking out, where is Jesus? I don't see Jesus in my life. I don't see the righteousness that God is handing out. Where is it? I'm craving the wrong things. And guess what? It's only one thing that satisfies the craving. One thing. So I'm chasing and I'm chasing and I'm chasing and I'm chasing and I'm confused and I'm tired and I'm lost and I'm just like, Jesus, when? Jesus, how? I don't know. And he goes, bruh, just crave the right things. It's going to Thanksgiving dinner and you're like, I wish we had burgers and hot dogs. And you mad. It's Thanksgiving. Like, what do you mean you want burgers and hot dogs? You're craving the wrong thing. Go to somebody else's house. It's Thanksgiving here. And Jesus says, this is Thanksgiving here. If Thanksgiving is not your favorite meal of the year, pick your favorite meal of the year. I feel like I need to say that part. I do love Thanksgiving, personally. But I go, we know what that's like. And Jesus says, this is your favorite meal. Crave that. Not just satisfaction, but satisfaction that I love this and I can't wait to have more of this. And I'm so good with Jesus. You know what's up. I'm so good with Jesus, but I can't wait to have more Jesus. And you get to a point where you're like, there's more Jesus? Yeah. Yeah. You know how many people it is on earth? And like outside of identical twins, they are not the same? That's crazy. That's crazy. Jesus has a crazy imagination. You could never imagine enough the ways that Jesus can take you to more levels. You cannot fathom or understand how properly internally holy you can be. You can't. But every time you get a new satisfaction in hungering and craving righteousness, you will see how often Jesus will let you be satisfied. Next slide. So I split the Beatitudes because there was a lot. And I was like, I'd rather have like 2 25, 30-minute sermons versus one 45-minute sermon. And it's like short, you know, I like to expound. So we'll do the rest of the Beatitudes next week. But as we go into this week, as we close up this sermon, again, what about me? What about me? What about me? What about me? And changing the question from what do I get out of this to who am I in Jesus? And what is expected of me? Where should my mind be? Next slide. Jesus came. He literally came to flip the script and so we could see bigger. He came to expand the process, our thought process. He came to show us, guys, it's bigger than what you actually see in front of you. Jesus said it 80,000 times, I only do what my Father says. I'm only obedient to him. How many of us, and myself included, this isn't like how many of y'all live there? Oh, I knew it, you don't. Like, no. Rafer's included, because I'm a human being too. This is where I want to be. I want to be in a place where I am legitimately blessed. Lord, I know who you are. I know what you're about. And I just want what you want for me. And I can only get to this place of being blessed by praying something like, Lord, give me a hunger for your righteousness. I thought about that after I posted the picture on Instagram of the scripture. And I was like, but do we want to pray that like every day? Let me crave your righteousness, Lord. Make me pure in heart. I dare you this week to go read through the Beatitudes and pick the one that you're like, this one sounds cool. Let me pray it for the next 7 days. I dare you. Solid answer. Nicole was like, nope. Nah, me and Jesus, we good right now. We don't need any new levels, you know, we don't need any expansion packs or nothing. Like, we're good where we are. But I go, that's fair. That's fair. Because again, what about me? What does that mean is going to change in my life? What's taking place next if this happens? I guarantee you nothing but good. Nothing but good. Nothing but good. Jesus is tight. So as we go into the holy place, blessed, satisfied regardless of my circumstances. Fully satisfied. Fully satisfied because I got Jesus. Fully satisfied. Like that's the start of it. So if I'm not fully satisfied, I gotta line some things up with Jesus first. So as we go into the holy place, let that be your prayer. Jesus, get me to you. Get me to you.